when I'm walking down the street.
I do want to say to Doni and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
Take my hat off.
I'm from South Carolina, so I just...
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Moss?
Oh, my heart,
Happy 20th anniversary.
my heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Done.
And dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself. There's a
The doctor lived next door to the janitor, to the reverend, and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Doni, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all the more.
letting His glory shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover, in it to win it for the long haul, baby. Let me tell you, we're going all the way to Africa today, if I'm not mistaken. Without further ado, the one and only Jumbo.
Jumbo, Doni, Jumbo, baby. How you doing, man? Hey, listen, we're trying to upload some stuff for the people as well, man. So give us a bit of time. Give us like 30 seconds, upload some clips, some compelling clips, man, of a perspective that I didn't even expect coming over here to Nairobi, man. So we want to upload so people can see some stuff, man. So you keep talking and give us 2 minutes to share some stuff with you, okay?
Yes, sir. So, folks, we're coming live to you today with our guest, Mr. Michael Haynie, all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. We got the globe right here. Kenya's right there in the center of Northeast Africa, just outside of Somalia and Ethiopia. On the west is Zaire, Uganda, Tanzania. When I had the distinct opportunity to go to Africa, I was there in 2006, went with Dr. Fraser Mathis. And boy, did he have a lot to say about Africa. That's where they made me read this book called Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. If you've never read that book, let me tell you, it's a great book. Gives you an opportunity to look into oneself and consider what God has put us here to do. Everybody has a purpose. Some people have more than one purpose. Some people have more than one purpose. I like to think that mine is in media, that my purpose-driven life is focused, centered in being involved in media. I love media. I'd have to acknowledge, besides my dad, who I would say was my first media teacher, teaching me all about Paul Harvey. And now you know the rest of the story, or how he made me listen to, who's that man over in D.C.? This is Carl T. Rowan with the Rowan Report. Thank God for my dad. But my first media professor, Byron Deese, good morning, was Ron Nichols. And this was at Coppin State, 1993. And let me tell you, the very first thing we got to get the Bay out of here. The Bay is over. It was one heck of a conference down in the Baltimore Convention Center. Dr. Tyrone Taborn brought out thousands of people So great job, Dr. Taborn. Great job. But Professor Ron Nichols would have us watch this film called The Birth of a Nation. It was by D.W. Griffith. For those that don't know, it was one of the first feature films ever created in this country. And they would show it to people who came to the White House. And it was a very stereotypical film of black people, bright eyes, big lips, eating watermelon, fried chicken, partying. And that's why I'm very sensitive to the stereotypes, the imagery used by racists to refer to our people. One video I have on this YouTube channel, if you don't know, then I have please check out our YouTube channel, Doni, D-O-N-I Glover, is of the crocodiles and of the black children who were used as alligator bait. Yes, black children used as alligator bait down in Florida. How they've treated our people. So it is important that we know the history. A lot of times we don't know the history. And some people will say it is not important to know the history. I thoroughly disagree. Because if you don't know your history, you cannot possibly know where you're going. And if you don't know your history, it's like getting stuck up at the corner. You keep going to the same corner, you keep getting stuck up. Because you didn't pay attention to what happened yesterday. You got me yesterday, but you ain't gonna get me today. I'm gonna get you. Well, anyway, D.W. Griffith, be aware of him, The Birth of a Nation. Now, most recently, a young man did a film called The Birth of a Nation. And this movie put a total spin on what was done before. And it was a film actually about, there was a film about Nat Turner. And the young man who did it, boy, did they try to, you know, this country's always trying to tear somebody down. Let me go to this one thing that's I've been wanting to tell you for a minute. If you've never heard of Uncle Tom's Cabin, make sure you check out the real story. This lady, Harriet Beecher Stowe, wrote a book about Josiah Henson, who was a black man who escaped slavery, went to Canada, got his freedom, built the way for other people to get freedom. But the story is about a freed man. Once Josiah Henson got his freedom, helped other people get freedom, they then went to Harriet Beecher Stowe. People went to her, if I'm not mistaken, Frederick Douglass, and said, hey, why don't you give some of these proceeds from this book you have sold on this man's story? Because she stole the story. She was a thief. She was a plagiarist. You want to get rid of Dr. Gay up at Harvard? Get rid of Harriet Beecher Stowe. She was a thief, a literary thief. She took that man's story and told him to kick rocks. And that's why she will never be great. She will always be, at best, a thief. Anyway, they stole Josiah Henson's story. And so everything you hear now about Uncle Tom is something negative, but I'm here to tell you that the real Uncle Tom, Josiah Henson, was a freedom fighter. Okay,
Jumbo, what's going on, Donnie? How you doing, man? I've got my man Paul Jango Messiah here with me. He's signing in now, Donnie. We're in Thika County, just outside of Nairobi, Kenya, and just some absolutely awesome things that have been going on here, Donnie. And I really appreciate you letting us be in community with your audience.
What time is it there, my friend? Oh my goodness! Listen.
It is 5:15. It is 5:15. It's 5:15, Donnie. This is our fourth broadcast since I've been here. We did one at 3 o'clock this morning. Just finished one up about an hour ago. We did one last Wednesday from a prestigious golf club here in Kenya. It's been absolutely awesome, Donnie. I can't wait to share some things with you and some perspective from the Kenyans I had an opportunity to talk to, in addition to some of the facts that I found out about Kenya, man. I didn't know the first time I came.
Let me
And I
ask
don't
you,
know if
Mike,
my man Paul.
do you think you could blend in as a native Kenyan?
Until I talk, man, they say, "Are you from Baltimore?" As long as I'm walking around, don't open my mouth, Donnie, I'm good, man. But as soon as I open my mouth, the price goes up, and they figure out that I'm from Baltimore.
That's how it was when I went to Tanzania. In Ethiopia, if I didn't say anything in Ethiopia, I could pass for Ethiopian. But as soon as I open my mouth, they're like, oh, no. In Tanzania, they can look at the shape of my head. They're like, oh, no, he is not Tanzanian. All the Tanzanians, they got the same shape of head. Hello
You
there.
see my friend Paul?
Hey, Paul,
Hey, Danny.
Jumbo.
We may have to separate a bit because we got a bit of feedback.
Yes.
So he's going to go to the other end of the garden. We're in the biggest backyard, Paul, that I have seen, man. Absolutely fantastic. But Paul, Django, Masai will talk about our relationship and what we're doing over here in Kenya. Incidentally, he used to run hotels in the state of Maryland. His wife used to be a 911 operator in Baltimore, and they decided all roads lead home, man. And so they've been back here for 8 years, and they're extremely happy.
Hey, Paul, do you miss the snow in America?
Not at all.
How are you, my friend? Welcome.
Thank you, Danny.
What should we know about Africa, about Kenya? What should us African Americans detached from Africa for 400, 500 years? Oh my goodness, you left us over here with these people. Do you know what they have done to us, Paul?
Coincidentally, I was talking to Mike this morning and even yesterday, telling him that I would love to see a lot of African Americans coming to Africa, especially Kenya, which we refer to as the East Coast. We have a great atmosphere here. The weather is good, the people are good, and also a good atmosphere to do business. And I haven't seen a lot of African Americans coming down here, and it will be a great opportunity to see our brothers and sisters making it here.
Well, I tell you, Paul, the reason that you don't see a lot of us is because we have been hanging with these Western people for 400, 500 years, and we've become detached. We forgot where home was. I don't know if you remember the movie E.T., but we're like E.T. the alien. E.T. go home. E.T. go home. But we've been
So
hanging
you're
in
welcome home
Disneyland.
anytime.
We've been
You're
in
welcome home
Disneyland.
anytime.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
You're
so
welcome
Paul,
home.
start us off. First thing in the morning, after you brush your teeth, wash your face, what food is there to eat?
Actually, we try to eat a lot of traditional food in the morning, because these days, you find that they don't feel like you having bread and eggs and bacon and things like that. The people like to eating arrowroots. Arrowroots are just boiled uh, and and they are saying they are more nutritious and more healthy than having a piece of bread. So you'll find a lot of traditional foods that are cooked to have for breakfast in the morning. It's not that I can't make you, a ham and bread sandwich. We can do all that, but we prefer more of having the traditional foods being made.
Another thing, Paul, we here in America, we get this picture of Africa. And my friends, we will say, hello, African. And say, hey, African, no problem. But there are some of us who will say, if you say, hey, African, they say, I ain't no African, because this Western society has made us ashamed of our African roots sometimes. For those who don't know any better, why should we be so proud to be of African descent?
On my end, I feel we are very proud, being Africans, and we feel that when we are here, we are back to the roots. The tradition is very deep rooted. as much as we have the westernization, mainly you'll find that there's a lot of tribes and people take a lot of proud. They are proud of their tribes and their cultures, and as it helps them to keep everything the way it used to be, as much as they do, combined with some westernization. But if someone would call me, hey, African, I'll be proud to say yes. I'm an African and I stand for something. So we are mainly proud of our culture, basically.
Now, Paul, one last very, very important thing. In the 1960s, I was born in 1965. Now, I think Michael was born in 1902. Okay, but in the 1960s, Kenya, other African countries, Ghana, Tanzania, they were going through the independence movement.
Yes.
What we as African Americans often do not know is that globally, around the entire globe,
Yes.
the black man was fighting for freedom.
Yes.
Who was Jomo Kenyatta?
Jomo Kenyatta actually was the first president of Kenya that the white man handed power to lead the country, because Kenya became got its independence from the British in 1963. So he's the one who took over as the first president of Kenya, and he's referred to as the father of the nation. And so he was the first president, and he's among the people who fought for independence with those tribesmen and those that they used to call the Mau Mau, people who are fighting for the freedom for Kenya to gain independence.
So that was the Mau Mau rebellion.
Yes, correct.
So Jomo Kenyatta was a hero, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know. I'm glad to hear that, because if he wasn't a hero, then this spear, we was going to come over there with this spear and fight for freedom. Okay, all right. I just want you to. So listen, a lot of people don't know that there are. What animals do you see on a regular basis? Like here, we see just dogs. We see dogs. Everybody's got a dog. We go.
So now over here we
all
see
the
all
animals, especially the big five. So you'll see lions, you'll see leopards, you'll see elephants, you'll see giraffes, zebras, and some other tiny, small animals. So there is a lot of animals to see when you're here, whether deep in the wild or just on the roadside as you drive by in the countryside.
Okay. And Mike, you want to handle the rest of this interview? I'll go off.
No, don't do that. That's not me. That's our production team, man. I'm sitting here, my hands off. Look at my hands, man. You don't have to worry about it. See, we brought our production team, Doni. We thank you for letting us do it. You don't have to worry about nothing. We got some clips to play. But let me just talk about my man Paul for a second and why we came over here to Nairobi, Doni. And absolutely, we want you in the midst of this interview because we know that you are as much involved in American politics and politics in your jurisdiction as anybody, and to hear what the Kenyans have to say of their perspective of America is compelling. But Paul and I started with two other Kenyan nationals a business. We launched this business on this past Wednesday at the prestigious Mathaga Golf Club, which is the equivalent of Augusta National in Georgia, where the Masters is being played. Matter of fact, the Kenya Open is this weekend, correct, Paul?
Yes.
The Kenyan Open, $2.5 million is the pot of money for golfers that are coming from all over the world to play at this prestigious club where we had our launch of Global Training Centers Africa. Paul mentioned that they want more blacks to come over here. We always talk about collaborating and doing business with our brothers and sisters in Africa. And unfortunately, it doesn't happen much, if at all. But Paul, myself, and Betty and Chris, we formed this collaborative business called Global Training Centers Africa. And we're excited, we're proud. The goal of this business, Doni, is to employ up to 5,000 Kenyans in an economy that has not bounced back by far from the pandemic.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Mike. Paul, how were you impacted by COVID?
Actually, most especially everything almost shut down. So we did have
Everything actually here shut down during COVID because we did have the country divided into segments where you were not allowed to cross from one point to another, but to restrict people in various counties to make sure that the infection doesn't increase. And so that affected a lot of businesses. To date, most of them are yet to recover, especially the hospitality business. Most of the hotels had to close. And right now is when people are trying now to see how they can get their businesses back and open. But it affected the country all round. And we didn't have enough hospitals to be able to contain and treat people. But also the other thing that helped actually was the fact that here most people stay outside because our weather is all round, I would say, warm, and they're not enclosed. So it didn't spread as much as we saw in the news from the rest of the world. But basically, the businesses were affected, and to date, they're trying to recover and have people coming back up, opening their businesses.
Which is part of the problem, Doni, because Kenya, like many African nations, depend on inbound traffic for European countries and American countries. And so tourism, didn't bounce back as quickly as it did in America. And so the economy is struggling over here. And, the people are feeling the effects of that. And some of the political perspective of the U.S. is compelling. And I'd like to play this. We're getting ready to come up on an election, which, it wasn't surprising to me that Kenyans pay close attention to American politics because it affects them so greatly in terms of some of the moves that are made by American presidents that affect their economy. But as I was out talking to Kenyans, Doni, the past few days, just to get their sense of Donald Trump and Joe Biden, you may be surprised at what they think, but I wasn't surprised. And I'd like to play this clip, Doni, that I found compelling from a brother in Mombasa, where I was the past couple of days. Mombasa is the second largest city in Kenya. It's the third largest port city in Kenya. It has 1.5 million people, Doni. And guess what? They don't have a single traffic light, man. They don't have a single traffic.
They got the roundabouts.
They got roundabouts, Doni.
And let me tell you, I was in Tanzania, and one day, Paul, I made the wrong turn coming off of the roundabout, and it was late night. Oh my goodness, I went down a very dark street. It was so dark I could not see my hand, and I looked to the side, and there were people moving with no light. There was no street light. I said, oh my goodness, how do they see? How can you see in the dark?
Hey Doni, so we want to play this clip. Play that clip of our Soldier Boy.
Tell me, man, what do you think about Donald Trump?
I think he's a very good man who can put this world into an order. He's a very talented man, very bold, and I think Putin and the Chinese man, they're gonna run away if they see Donald Trump on the seat.
So how about Biden? What do you think?
Biden is more of diplomat, and the world now needs a person who can put it in order.
So the world needs Trump.
Exactly.
The world needs Donald Trump.
Exactly.
Wow, man, powerful.
I tell you, I didn't hear just from this kid. I'm not gonna
Paul,
say I did a
Paul, no,
10,000%.
no, Paul, no Trump. No, he is the devil. Do not be fooled. The man is the devil.
Well, you know, Donnie, when you look at politics around the world and corruption and what Donald Trump represents, which we know intimately, it doesn't move them, man. You know, what they look at is who affects their economy. They talked about Biden and the fact that the reason many times they go to the Chinese for their infrastructure is because the U.S. always has strings attached to every dollar. They want to have an itemized list of this, that. China says, hey, here's the money. Just make sure you pay us back. You don't pay us back, we'll take your airport, we'll take your other infrastructure, but you're gonna pay us back. You know, the
Paul,
U.S. comes,
Paul,
okay, we want you to
trust the
rights.
Chinese either. Don't trust none of them. They all come to steal. They steal. All of them, put them all out. You know who I like, Paul? You know who I like?
Yes.
I like Idi Amin. You know why I like Idi Amin? He said, get out. Get out.
Yeah.
Leave. But they always want to steal everything from Africa. Everything. The people, the resources out of the ground, put them all out. Get out. Do not come back.
Right now, Danny, what you see with most of the African countries is because of the corruption that is deep rooted, especially within the people of power, and they're the ones who negotiate these deals. So basically, for them, they sign off on deals that are going to really benefit them more than what they will benefit the local person or the country at large. So in most cases, the citizens are not that party or approval, haven't given enough approval for them to go ahead and do these deals. But because of corruption and sometimes also poverty, you find some things are passed by those that are ahead of them, and they get to sign off these deals that are not really good for the country, but they are signed, and you have nothing you can do about it.
You know, Donnie, it's amazing what Kenyans feel about Obama, and Obama's daddy was Kenyan, and they equate some of the Biden policies to some of the Obama administration ways, which they didn't feel were beneficial to the world. And the biggest thing I see that Kenyans are afraid of is war. Nobody wants to go to war. We're very peaceful people, and they're afraid that they put this war in Russia and Ukraine, the war in the Middle East, on Biden, and they feel as though Trump would put people in their place and perspective. And we know, and hey, listen, you know how I probably feel about Donald Trump. I think he belongs in jail based on the fact he does stuff that nobody else can do. But when it comes to showing strength, and they're used to dictatorial, anarchic type governments, so that's not what they're afraid of. I just believe, and to the point of your network, Donnie, and my network and my show, is that we as a Black people need to hear different perspectives from around the world other than what we hear from CNN. You should hear this one clip and how they view CNN. CNN is no better.
Let me make one point. Paul.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
We read books, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We read books. We read books. We got lots of books. We got books. Okay?
Yeah.
So let me tell you something. We don't like a rapper to speak for us, okay? We have educated people, not a rapper. A rapper does not speak for me. A rapper need to go rap. But we have people who read books and who travel the world and who can think for ourselves, okay? So don't minimize us when the television put a rapper up. There are those of us that read books. We know about Morocco. We know about Libya, about Guinea-Bissau, about Equatorial Guinea, about Rhodesia, about Angola, Luanda. South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, Nigeria. We know who we are, and we don't need no rapper to speak for us. Never, ever.
I hear you.
Go ahead, Michael.
Michael.
Oh no, that's okay. You go ahead. Go ahead. You know, one of the things that you need to do, Donnie, I didn't say suggest, I'm telling you need to do, is to continue to educate your viewers like I educate mine, particularly the ones that look like Paul, you, and me. And to be here over 4,000 miles, giving a perspective of people that look like us to a perspective that we view differently is important. You know, and we got to take it serious, man. We're at a situation now, you know, the first 3 Americans killed in the Middle East war were blacks. Kenyans don't want that. They don't want to be drawn to a war. It's already bad enough that the Biden administration is tying any aid into their ability to go into Haiti and to help police Haiti. You know, these are things that we're not necessarily aware of because we get caught up in news cycles, in news periodicals that don't necessarily tell the truth for our communities, which is, as I said, it's important that you hear Paul, you hear me in the backyard, you're the host, we got a black production team in the back, giving a perspective that we don't hear. So yeah, Trump's an asshole. We know he's an asshole. We know that he belongs in jail.
Yes.
However, how
he should be in jail.
How does the question
Donald Trump
of it
should
is,
be locked up
of it
under
is,
the jail.
The question of it is, and so some people thought that Idi Amin didn't, and the people over there love him to death. Love him to death. It's a matter of what brings the economy back. If you came over here and saw how people were functioning as a result of the economic issues that are happening over here, and you see what, you know, when Joe Biden came over here a year ago, you know what she brought to them? Trying to twist their perspective on gay rights, things of that nature.
Oh no,
And
hey Paul, we're not having none of that, okay? That's what they told Obama. They say, Obama, take that back over there, okay? Hey Paul,
That's correct.
They always trying to make a black man, a strong black man, soft. We don't play that, okay?
Yeah,
Let us go over there, okay?
But we don't always hear other people's perspective. Does communities in Baltimore, are they aware of the fact that we have strings attached to black countries or African countries when it comes to giving aid? Aid is important to many developing countries on the continent. And to say, well, in order to do that, you got to be a guinea pig for this, or you got to buy into this democratic principle. And we need to understand it so that when it comes election time or putting pressure on politicians, time to support our brothers and sisters in a different country, we have the entire story, because we don't always have the entire story. And it's important that we
Paul, we don't have a problem with somebody, with a man that don't like girls. You don't like girls, no problem. But don't come trying to push it on me, okay? I love women. I love women. And women are beautiful. The most beautiful women in the world. But these other people keep trying to paint this different picture. It is not us, okay? It is them. Do your thing. Do your thing over there. But don't bring it over here on me. And don't be talking to my son or my grandson. Mind your damn business, okay?
Correct.
Well, Donnie, that sounds just as practical or impractical as CNN, right? So the real deal, Donnie, is that when you talk money, serious money, and you look at our party politics and our international relationships and our desire to spread democracy to countries tied into the aid that we give them, and to adopt certain women's rights, which, hey, you know, nobody has an issue with women's rights, but some of the other things that they force on countries, you know, it shouldn't be tied into aid, and it's unfortunate, you know. And I think all people
listen, Paul,
for whoever they are.
Paul, we are aware of the International Monetary Fund. We are aware of the World Health Organization. We are aware of NGOs, non-governmental organizations. They give you money, but then they make you sign this contract. You can't do this, you can't do that. And they want you to say, oh, the white man is God. The white man is not God. There is one God. There is one God supreme over all mankind. But they come in with colonialism. They carved up Africa into 54 nations. They chopped it up and divvied it up. Belgium get this, France get this, England get this. And what do black people get? We get nothing. So yes, we are tired of these neo-colonialists. They want everything out of our land. They want our soul, out our heart, and they don't want us to like women. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with Planned Parenthood. Kick them out. Tell them, go mind your business. They want to stop the black man from making babies. That's what they want. They would even make us think that we are a minority. They make us think that we are a minority. I am not a minority. I am a part of the majority of planet Earth. They look like me. They're brown skinned. This is a wicked country. Wicked. And Donald Trump is the devil. And Hillary Clinton. Oh, one more thing. If you ever heard of Haiti, Haiti is the strongest country of black people in the Western Hemisphere. Haiti. They kicked the French out. They kicked Napoleon in his hind parts. They kicked him in the butt. And they kicked him out. And that's why Hillary Clinton and the rest of them people, they go to Haiti and they take their money and say, oh, we helping Haiti. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not. They help themselves. Okay, I rest my case. Stand up for black people everywhere. And black people, listen, tell me, was Muammar Gaddafi, Obama and them, they killed Gaddafi, but Gaddafi wanted to bring Africa together and have one currency. Correct?
Yeah, correct.
One currency.
He was working on that. He was working on joining all African countries together. So he was trying to achieve that when all that happened. And after he was gone, then everything started disintegrating, especially in the northern part of Africa.
I told them, but they don't listen to me. They want to listen to a rapper. I love rap music, but this ain't no time for rap music. This is time for the brightest brains on the continent to come together and speak with one voice and one money. I mean, you imagine the money of 1.5 billion Africans? That's a lot of power. A lot of power. But we are afraid sometimes. Don't be afraid. He got you.
Yes.
He got me. That's why we're still here. And we will go nowhere. There's no race without the black man face. Everybody come from this. Everybody come from this. Everybody. Everybody roots come from Namibia. Stan Bushman, oldest DNA on earth. We know our history. So, Michael, what's next?
I don't know. You tell me, Donnie. What do you want to talk about, baby?
We need to get dual citizenship for every African American. We need to get up out of this place and go see some other parts of the world. Hey, Michael, what is that they growing behind you?
The what?
A bush.
Oh, what crops do they sell in Kenya? Do they sell coffee?
Coffee. Yes.
What is your big crop?
A national product.
It's one of our largest foreign exchange honors. The only thing that sometimes I never understand is the fact that we would export it out, and then it is refined, and then it is brought back and sold to us more expensive than if we had the ability to have these plants here to do all that added value onto these products and then send them out when they are ready to to be used. So we are sending out the raw material, and then we buy back the same thing more expensive than we would have done if these plants would have been set up here in the country.
Okay, Paul, how difficult is it to refine it right there in Kenya? Let me tell you something. In America, we see a lot of black people who get caught up in the drug trade, selling cocaine, selling heroin. One thing we know how to do is sell. Now, if you have the raw product,
yes,
what is to stop you from refining it yourself? How much is that machine? How much?
The problem we have is actually the capital to set up those farms. So without that capital, then you're not able to set up that farm so that you're able to give the final product. You're forced to sell your product as soon as it's on the farm, and then it's taken out, and then you have to buy it back. But if the investors were able to partner with some of the farmers that we have here in the region and set up those plants here on the continent, then we will be selling that final product to Europe, to America, to China, and to all these countries. But when you come and see, all of them are just picking up the raw material because they have those plants out there. Instead of giving the funds and investing and saying, let me put a factory here to just process this, they won't do that. They are ready to just buy the raw material. So currently there is a few Kenyans who have been able to put their hands together, and they are producing, but in small quantity. And sometimes the quality is also not that good because of the inferior equipments that they are using.
Listen, this is where all of the African countries come together and they say we buy all of our coffee. Number one, you need big lawyers. We buy all of our coffee from Kenya, but you have lawyers. You need big lawyers to write those other people out of the contract. They got you by the balls. Cut free. Free yourself.
Yeah.
Kick them out of the contract. Michael Haynie. They need Robert DeShields. They need Billy Murphy. They need Johnny Cochran and Ben Crump. These are our best lawyers in America to come there and to cut them out because they have cut you out. Cut them out of the contract, and they say we will buy no coffee unless we get it from Kenya or some other African country. And then I think Ethiopia has coffee. You join forces. Yeah. You join forces and you sign a 1-year agreement. Then you sign a 5-year agreement. Then a 10-year. You start small and you kick them out. Hey, listen. You know, you cannot make an omelet without cracking an egg. Mm-hmm. So you got to kick the colonial powers, the neo-colonial powers. You have to crack them upside the head and get rid of them. Because they have your birthright. They have your birthright. And it's not theirs to have. Stand up. Stand up. Kick them out. Kick them out. And anybody who is corrupt, they got to go too. Kick them out. I'll be damned if I got the coffee, if I got the raw material, and you going to come take it and sell it back to me? Oh, no. That is a problem. Michael, that is a problem. It don't work like that. And you know what you need? I got to tell you, this one last thing. You need one military. You need a one military force for the whole of Africa, or at least half of Africa. You need an army. That's what we don't have. We need an army. Because if you can't enforce the law, then you have no law. And that's one thing the European is very good at: war. They're very good at organizing too.
Yeah.
We got to get better at organizing.
Correct.
But anybody who is helping them, you got to take them out back. You know what take them out back mean, right? You take them out back. Or my daddy said, we're going to take you for a ride. And when you come back from that ride, you will understand. You will never have that problem again. Obama would never come there ever again saying what he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mike. Michael Haynie, come on, let's go.
Okay, where we going?
Let's wrap this thing up. We got a few minutes. What are we saying? Are we coming back tomorrow?
Hey, play that music, man. Play that music. Play that music. And yeah, give us that music.
And when are you coming, Glover?
I'm just waiting on Michael Haynie. He said he had my ticket. The last time I saw him, he had no ticket. He wanted to bring me a massage blanket. Listen, I need a massage blanket. I need a massage blanket with a lot of blue in it. I like the massage with a lot of blue, little bit of red. But I need
I think you got a round trip boat ticket. We got a boat ticket for you. You got to take a boat. And we'll send you through the door of return through Ghana. And then you can take a bus from Ghana to Kenya.
That's a very long bus ride, my friend. I want you to know that's a very long bus ride. I flew over the Sahara Desert for 3 hours. I was like, man, that is a lot of sand down there.
Hey, play that music, man. Break it up with people, man.
Listen,
Yeah, that
Paul,
was beautiful, Donnie. That's
Paul,
Uganda. That's the Ugandan song.
Paul, one of our regular viewers asked, have you experienced AI?
Yes.
What do you think of it?
It's an ATM, Donnie. We've been experiencing AI since ATMs came out. What do they mean, AI? They got robotic wait staff people over here. You order and a little robot comes out and brings you your plate. Is that what you mean?
Something.
Also, artificial intelligence on the computer, like Chat GPT. You can rewrite a story. You can create things. Paul, a lot of us in America, we don't realize how you have inventors. Can you tell us anything about some of the inventions that have come out of Kenya, that have come out of Africa, that we don't know much about? Because we don't control media like we should. We control this to a large extent, but we must control our media, because that's the images we see of who we are. And we are beautiful, but they put us on television as killers, as bad people, and we are not.
That is something that we have to live with, and actually we have the biggest invention that was done here in Kenya, which was the introduction of M-Pesa, whereby anyone within the country, even within the most remote area, they could make payments of goods and services by use of the phone. Before this was invented, you had to you had to send money through somebody to take it either to your relative who lives deep in the village somewhere. But with the invention of M-Pesa, which was actually done here in Kenya, it's very easy to move around. Anybody, even the most remote area, they are able to pay for and buy anything on the phone. And the banks, when that came up, the banks were hesitant and were fighting the process. But because it is something that was really, really helping the people, and they were unable to shut them down. And currently, it's huge in the market, and it's the way we are able to transact. Just on my phone, I can pay for anything. Just using my phone, and it was invented here.
Hey, Paul, let me ask you this. Recently, the Russians, the Chinese, they up on the moon. They're bringing back dirt samples from the moon. What do you think of that? Oh, you take too long, Paul. Paul, tell him leave the damn moon alone. Leave the moon alone.
Yeah, I know. I just, in my opinion, I really don't understand why they would do that, because I don't know what that will also come with, whether it will get us affected in any way with all these type of diseases that we see, and some of them we are unable to understand where they come from and what makes them come up. So it leaves me speechless, because again, I have no power to question them or find out what it is they're trying to do with that.
Well, I don't trust them, Paul. They can't keep their own country clean right here. So you know what that means? That means they go to the moon and they will make the moon dirty too. They can't keep their room clean here. So I do not trust them to go to the moon and do anything good. And then they're going to move to the moon and then cut the rest of us off. No, 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 no. Paul, we have to stop them. We have to stop these fools from going to the moon. Tell them, leave the moon alone.
Yeah.
And then, Paul, let me tell you one more thing. Do not, if they come with a Bible in their hand, do not trust them. Do not trust them. Take their Bible away from them and tell them go away. Because they take everything and they give us the Bible, and the next thing you know, you wake up and it's like, where's my land? Where's my land? Oh, but they give me the Bible. I got the Bible, they got my land. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's not good.
Yeah. I hear
okay,
you.
Michael.
Hey, Donnie, as usual, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure. Long day. Look forward to seeing you on our return Thursday.
Yes, Michael. And Paul, we so appreciate you taking time to speak with us. Anything else you want to tell us, Paul? Welcome us one more time to Kenya. Tell them why African Americans, Black people, why we need to come to Africa.
Yes. Thank you very much, Dan.
To see a lot of African Americans coming to Kenya, visiting the East Coast, what we call the East Coast. It is safe. You see, Mike is here. This is the second time he has been in the country, and he has loved it. And I'm also here to welcome them. So anyone who feels that they want to come down, let me know. We'll be here to show them around. They'll love the motherland, and it's good for them to feel that attachment back here to the continent.
Okay. How do we say bye-bye? How do we say goodbye?
Kwaheri in Swahili.
Kwaheri. Kwaheri.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael, if you don't come back with that Maasai blanket with blue in it and a little bit of red, it will be no Kwaheri for you, my friend.
Hey, well, Donnie, no problem, man. I think they got a Walmart here.
Oh, Walmart. We thank you, my brother, from the bottom of my heart.
We'll get you 2 from 10, man. Yeah, man. Donnie, thank you so much for having us, man.
Thank you. Ashe.
Thank you.
Good morning, world.